Okay, so some of you may still be writing, but that's okay. Get it in. Today's mini lesson for writing is writers make careful decisions about what to keep or treasure in a story for readers to better understand their big idea. So we're looking at today, I know you're finishing up your rough drafts, we're all probably going to be done today, right? And what's the first thing you do when you take a look at your writing again after having a day or two off? Everybody? Read it again. Read it again. You can read your pre-writing that you have. You can read your rough drafts so far. And why do we do that as writers? Why do writers go back after taking a break and don't just start writing right away? Why do they read over everything? Emily?
Because they don't really remember exactly what they wrote.
Exactly. And you want to get your brain thinking and rolling with ideas for your story. So as you go back and read today what you've already started, I want you to think about what should I keep for sure that really matters to my readers. It's going to be really an important part of my story, and what could I take out? Okay? Is there anyone in here that is willing to volunteer their story for me to do that with? Carter, are you sure? Alright, go get it, and when I give you the signal, you'll know what the signal is because it'll be obvious. When I give you the signal, you can bring it to me. Okay? Alright, so let's think about what are some ideas that might be important to keep. Now, we're going to have to be general because we're not talking about any story in particular, but what are some big ideas that really writers need to keep in a story? Colin?
Like if you write a story about a chocolate cake, you're telling your head that you're eating your chocolate cake.
Okay. Good. Be more general. Katie.
What your main idea is.
Okay, you definitely want to have your main idea. For sure. What else do you have to have or you're going to want to keep in your story? Kyle.
Descriptive writing.
Okay, so descriptive writing, can you say a little more about that, Kyle?
Like, not just saying like, oh, it was really bad. You gotta like give some more, yeah, like shows a video kind of feel when it feels really bad.
So you have to tell the who,
Yeah.
the what,
And
right? You can't just say he, right, without telling who you're talking about. So the who, what else would we put here? The what,
Where?
the where,
The when.
The why.
When and
the why. What was the last one?
What?
When. Did we not have what? Oh, there's what. What else? I mean, there might be a few more we don't have up there, but what other key ideas? Talk to somebody really quick about key ideas that need to stay in that are important to treasure. Okay, let's hear him. I heard a couple of them. Bring them back. Nick?
Important events that
Okay, important events.
don't include them, the reader gets confused.
Yes. Important events that without them would confuse the reader. Okay. Does that make sense? Important events that without them would confuse our readers. What's another one, Lauren?
Like the basics, like the setting, the characters, you don't just want to cut out your setting
Okay.
and call it good.
What do we have on our personal narrative text features over here? Let's see.
Besides the snapshot.
Elements of fiction, right? Do we have on there?
Yeah.
Look at number 12. Setting, plot, characters, problem, tension, problem resolution, number 12.
Tension.
So we have to have elements of fiction in them. We have to have the setting. What have we been working on, though, in the last couple days? I know we had a weekend there. We were talking about last week a lot, especially at the beginning of your personal narratives. What do you need to have?
And
Background knowledge, right? That can go in elements of fiction. Background knowledge. So these are just some of the things that we want to keep and treasure in our writing. All the other things we might not need to keep. So, is that obvious enough?
Yes.
So we're going to look at Carter's. He's graciously let us look at his. And we're going to listen to it with our writing ears. And we're going to think about how could we help Carter maybe keep some things, take some things out and keep some things. What are some things we really want him to keep, and what are some things we might be able to take out that his readers might not need to know? So Carter, yours is about going to Lake Tahoe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wake up, sleepyhead, whispered my aunt. It's almost time to go. I opened my eyes, still half shut. Wow, what a great start. You like that? Holy crap, I shouted. That sounds like your voice. It was 8 o'clock. We leave in 10 minutes. I got dressed quickly. So quickly, I ran down the hallway with no pants. I slid in the kitchen, grating, now this is a rough draft, so it's sometimes there's parts that I can't read. I slid in the kitchen, grating a box of Honeycomb's brand cereal and a bowl. I sat down, realizing I forgot the milk. So I dumped the cereal in my mouth little at a time, trying not to choke. When I finished, I ran to the bathroom to brush my teeth. Okay, let's stop for a minute. Are there any parts that we don't need? Carter, I'll ask you first since it's yours.
I think what kind of cereal and then always no pants.
Okay, let's talk about those two. What kind of cereal? Does he need that to talk about his trip to Lake Tahoe?
No.
So maybe that one could come out. Running down the hall with no pants. Does he need that to talk about his trip to Lake Tahoe?
No.
But if I were to keep one, which one do you think would be better? Now I'm thinking about my readers. Which one do you think they would find more entertaining? Or that they would want to keep reading?
The pants.
The pants, right? So if I'm thinking like a writer and I'm thinking Carter, he's got his voice in here, doesn't he? If I'm thinking like Carter and I'm thinking about my readers, I don't need all this stuff, but what could I get? Sometimes there's things I want to keep in just because it's funny, or just because I know my readers are really going to like it. So the whole point of us writing this is to entertain our readers and to have a memory about something. So Carter might cross that off about the cereal because it's kind of an unnecessary part. His readers might be like, yeah, big deal. You know, but the pants part, he might keep that. It's up to Carter because it's his writing, but we're just suggesting to him. Let me find another part. Let's see. Oh, you're up early, my grandma said. Well, not really, I said, ready to collapse. Well, you can take your shoes off. We're not ready yet. But I shook my head as I took off my shoes. I fell on the floor and slept. Great, just great, I whimpered. A few minutes past time to go. I got up and got my shoes on. As everyone else did, I walked out to the car. When I sat down, I was mad all that time and 5 minutes left. I went too fast. Anyways, everyone got in and we were off. Okay, so he's talking about, I think this part is just getting to, in the car, getting to Lake Tahoe. So what do you guys think?
I didn't really understand it that well.
That part
Yeah.
was kind of
Cause
tricky.
then like, cause like,
Collapse on the floor.
Yeah, and then
I
he's
collapsed on
like-
the floor, like 5 minutes passed, and like he's like, I fall asleep.
Mhm.
I don't really understand that.
and then like his grandma's like, well, you're up early.
You know what I love about Carter right now, though, about what he's doing here, is he's putting all of his thinking in, and then he can go back, now that he knows this, he can go back and kind of take out the parts that, you know, all the little details that he might not need. So, but I think he's off to a good start. But do you kind of get the idea? Carter, does that make sense? About how there might be some parts Carter's going to take out. But in a rough draft, it's okay if you put a little too much in. I'd actually rather you put too much in than not anything or not enough, and you leave out parts that are going to be really hard for your readers to understand. So it's better to go back and take parts out, I think, than having to go back and add things. So just think about it that way. Carter, thank you for letting us pick apart this a little bit. I want you to turn before you go to write today and talk to a neighbor about what some parts of your rough draft you might want to revisit and what you're going to work on today. So just go ahead and give your plan to somebody.
Jake found an address.
You got a plan? Nick, do you have a plan? Okay, finish up? Everyone has their plan. The first thing you're going to do is read over. And when you're reading it over, look for those parts that you really decide you need to keep. And maybe if there's parts you already are deciding you don't need to keep, you don't need to erase. We never erase when we write. We want to keep all of our thoughts visible, so you can just put a line through it. And remember that we're using pencil. So go ahead and get back to your writing.